All right, hey everybody, we're down at Fantastic Fest, and I'm talking with, why don't you introduce yourself?
Chris Peckover, writer and director of Safe Neighborhood.
Of Safe Neighborhood, which is a twisted little Christmas
it's
film.
kind of hard to talk about it without giving away what's good about it.
You know, honestly, I didn't write a full review or anything, but I did a little blurb, and it's, there's a twist.
There's a twist
that kind of pulls the rug out from under you, and it really it makes the movie. It makes the movie better than where you see it's going. Now, are you a big fan of Christmas, the holiday in general?
Oh, absolutely. It's the time when everyone's hoping things will go well, so when they don't. I'm talking about real life here.
Let's do it. Let's be real here.
Yeah. So for me, there's no better time than the holidays to state something awful, because that's when we're all kind of like letting our hair down.
Everybody's got their guard down, and anything can happen. You wrote and directed the film, so why don't you explain us a little bit of the writing process? Where did the idea come from?
So I co-wrote this with Zach Kahn, who came up with the idea originally in a slightly different form. So the original version of the movie was very hardcore, kind of went into, I'm not gonna say torture porn, but it was very torture-y in the second half, and it was a great script. It had so many great elements. So with Zach's blessing, I kind of retooled a little bit of that and made it funnier.
Well, you know what?
Yes.
The way I would describe it, what you brought to it is a lighter touch, which I think the film needs, particularly in the second half, or else you might alienate your audience. Was that a thought that crossed your mind while you were writing it?
Absolutely. So, again, without there's the elephant in the room. We can't talk about what makes the movie, but it kind of threatens to go in a lot of taboo areas. It could have been very masochistic. It could have been, there's a subject matter that everyone can relate to, but it kind of goes there. And my goal was to, threaten to go there, but then be funny, and then like, oh, that's not gonna happen. Oh, I'm laughing now, and then make you feel real bad for laughing.
You do dance around some of the taboo subjects quite well, I thought.
Thank you.
In the film. Now, you have I'm a musician, so I always notice music in movies, and you have a pretty impressive collection of Christmas songs, holiday music on there. You scored the Ramones.
I scored the Ramones. By the way, this song was the hardest thing to get in the world, because they're all gone now, and all the rights to the song were interspersed among like 10 or 12 people, and my music supervisor spent like 80% of his efforts just trying to get this one song. But it makes the movie. Like it kind of comes at a moment where you're feeling one way about a character, and then by the end you've totally flipped, and you're kind of being okay with it.
We're going to dance around some of the spoilers in this interview, but there's a character that you almost feel like it's very psycho, in that at that point you kind of want them to get away with what they're getting away with. You feel a certain empathy for the character. You're nervous for him. Yeah,
it's the villain of the movie. Within about 5 minutes, you're kind of like, I can't help but root for him to get away with it. So, and that was where the Ramones came from.
What are some of your favorite Christmas songs?
So, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for telling this story, but that's probably why I should tell it then.
Exactly. They were right now scooping everybody.
So, there's a scene in the movie, I'll call it the hallway scene, the hallway fight. It was a hallway fight. And we ended up getting this perfect song by Brenda Lee, who in Home Alone sang Rock Around the Christmas Tree.
Okay.
There's 2 Christmas songs she's famous for. This is the other one.
Oh.
But, so, I love that song. I'm so glad we got it. I originally shot that scene to be done with Wham's Last Christmas.
A modern Christmas classic.
Yes, and there's a dance and a singing that goes with it that we had to cut from the movie, because everyone, we were negotiating with Sony. They were cool with it. Basically, everyone was cool with it. And then George Michael himself was like, I don't know if I want to be associated with this. So.
Well, he does have a strong moral center, George Michael, and I understand why he would not maybe want his film associated with, something on the more lurid side of things. I get it.
I totally respect any artist's okay or not okay with being in a movie. Our movie, again, kind of goes there, so...
Just a little bit. Almost. It's almost there.
But he ultimately said no, so maybe one day if he sees this movie and he's like, I freaking love this, I'll do a director's cut where he gets to see what we did, because there's some singing into a baseball bat.
You should put the scene on the Blu-ray, like with Almost Famous when Cameron Crowe couldn't get the Led Zeppelin music, and so you can have the needle drop for, like, put the subtitle, put Wham's Last Christmas.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Right here.
We talked about this first here. All right. That's a great idea.
So, obviously, I mean, we've talked about the dichotomy of having a horror, a terrifying movie set on Christmas. Do you have any other favorite horror-themed or Christmas-themed horror movies?
Oh, absolutely. So, Krampus, I haven't seen Krampus yet, but I've been told to check it out.
It's pretty good. Yeah. It's almost there, but I'm notoriously fussy.
Gremlins, Black Christmas is a big favorite of mine.
Black Christmas is one of my favorites. There's a great story about Steve Martin going up to Olivia Hussey at a party in the 70s and saying, "You're one of my favorite movies." She goes, "Oh, Romeo and Juliet." He goes, "No, Black Christmas."
That sounds about right for him. I mean, Die Hard doesn't count, but I love movies that are set during Christmas.
So do I, and I love Christmas music. And I always think, like, the Killers are the only band that still consistently put out a Christmas song, or at least holiday song. I mean, they're Mormons, so I don't know if they celebrate Christmas or not.
Yeah, we looked at a few of their songs for this movie.
Oh, really? Which did you have a song that you really wanted to use by the Killers for?
I'm a big fan of the Killers, but
Me too.
I don't. Their sound wasn't right for the film.
So I think the Ramones were certainly the right choice for that scene.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, Silent Night Deadly Night is obviously the big Christmas slasher, the most popular one, or infamous. Have you seen all the sequels?
No, not at all.
If you ever get a chance, check out Part 5. Just for the record.
I didn't even know there was a Part 5.
Most people don't. And like, the fifth movie in the Silent Night Deadly Night series should not be as good as it is, and it has Mickey Rooney in it.
All right, I have to check that out. You got me there. I wasn't expecting you to say Mickey Rooney.
So the name of the film is
Safe Neighborhood.
Safe Neighborhood. Do you know what's next for it now? Or are we hitting?
So we're right. You're catching us right when we're in negotiations. So I have no idea when we'll be coming out, but I know we will be.
How'd you get Virginia Madsen? Like, how did she come in? Everybody at the Q&A the other night was talking about, Putty, who was great in the movie, but Virginia Madsen's always been a favorite of mine, and that was kind of cool to see her when I saw her name come in the opening credits. Like, I was not expecting that.
I'm a big fan of Virginia's. She, you know what it was? I talked to her on the phone, and when she found out that Patrick was playing her husband, she's like, and that we were shooting in Australia, she's like, go to Australia for a week. Never worked with Patrick before. Love him. I don't have a reason to say no to this. And she was a real trooper. Patrick kind of came to me saying, I got some ideas. I don't know if Virginia would be okay ad-libbing with me, but I kind of want to just go there. So I made them do the scene as written, and then I was like, yeah, let's. I mean, you guys
You're shooting digital. You might as well, right?
I've got Virginia. I've got Patrick. They're two stand-up amazing actors, and so we ad-libbed, and they ended up blowing me out of the water so much that I kept everything.
Oh, so that's all improv, the never scenes together.
I don't think they have a line. That's not true. There's one scene where we stuck to the script, but everything else with them was just rewritten on the day in the moment, and their chemistry is hilarious.
The chemistry is ridiculous in those opening scenes. Without revealing too much, in the opening of it, you do have kind of a Spielbergian touch with the way you shot everything and kind of had the family stuff going, which is why I was surprised with where you went with it.
Of course, yeah. I mean, the way I pitched this to everybody was it was like a John Hughes movie they interrupted.
I think that's brilliant. I think that's brilliant. One more question. Why shoot a Christmas movie in Australia?
The answer is going to sound. By the way, because we did shoot during January and February, which would be wintertime, but in Australia that's the summer. So everyone was sweating their balls out in all these winter jackets. I was offering to get people like ice packs, and they're like, no, we're actually. Makeup was furiously trying to pat off all the sweat all the time. And because we're low budget, we couldn't like afford the AC. Because we were at the Fox stage in Sydney.
Air conditioning just wasn't in the budget.
Sydney summer is very hot. We shot in Sydney because I was actually about to do a deal with a buddy of mine where we were going to shoot in South Carolina for about $500,000.
Okay.
And then our producers in Australia were like, "Do not sign that. We will make this for significantly more amount of money." So it ended up being such an amazing deal to make this for several $1 million. I got something that really surprised me. A lot of non-horror fans end up really digging it because it always threatens to go there. And it kind of does go there in a lot of ways, but
just a little bit, but
it's fun. Yeah.
It's a pitch black sense of humor, but it's still a sense of humor.
Yeah. And then the thing that really shocked me was teenagers eat it up. I'm so wishing that we weren't. I mean, it has to be R. The movie's a hard R, but it.
Because you never saw an R-rated movie when you were a teenager.
Right.
They're gonna see it.
I don't know how hard it is to get in these days, but a lot of like 14-year-old girls have been watching this and being like, "This is like the best date movie," and I'm like, "Who are you?" I mean, this movie's.
Why didn't you know these girls when you were 14? Where were they then, right? So, what would you say to anybody who's maybe on the fence about going to see Safe Neighborhood? What would you say to get them in the seats for your movie?
I'm gonna say whatever you do, don't read about it and watch about it, because I think the movie is best seen cold, or what was it? Best served chilled.
Oh, best served cold.
Best served
old
cold.
Klingon proverb.
Old
right?
Klingon proverb.
I will say one thing I love about Fantastic Fest. It's the one time a year where I actually truly get to be surprised by movies, because I don't do any research coming down here before the movies. I kind of look through the book when I'm trying to pick something and go, okay, that sounds. Yeah. The only thing I knew about yours going in was somebody said, oh, it's a Christmas horror movie. I go, cool, that's all I need to know. And I'm in. And according to you, that's probably the best way to go see it.
Yeah, it's just a regular old home invasion thriller.
Typical, very typical. By the numbers, couple good scares, right?
Yep, nothing else happens.
Well, Chris, thank you very much for talking with us today. And go see Safe Neighborhood when it makes its way to your